Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another Screw Toy action figure review. And today we'll be looking at the Medicom Mafex Avengers Endgame Iron Man Mark 85. And I finally have this figure in hand after over a year of delay and 2 years of waiting. He is here. So we'll get a quick look here at the packaging, and then we'll get a quick look at the figure itself. Now, getting a quick look at the packaging. This packaging is a little bit different than most Mafex boxes. It's obviously a lot more longer and wider, and it's because he does come with a shit ton of accessories. Here in the front, we get the very nice big window that shows the product and the accessories. Very nice promo image of Mark 85 right there. Avengers Endgame, the name of the character and the mark of the armor. Mafex number 140, Medicom Toys, the Avengers logo. On the side, you get some more promotional images, Avengers Endgame, Mafex. On the back, all the accessories that comes with this figure. On the other side, some more promotional images. On top, you get Avengers Endgame, very nicely done. On the bottom, it's a whole bunch of bullshit, and you do get the little holographic sticker to show that it is authentic. And just like every other Mafex figure, he does come with a Mafex stand. And some of the newer pieces that have been coming with the latest Mafex figures. I always enjoy these. It's always nice to have extra stands. And then you do get the little pamphlet that shows that you can download an app on your smartphone to scan the holographic stickers on the box to show if your figure is authentic or not. And like I always say, I always enjoy these instruction manuals to show you how to interchange the parts and how to swap the pieces out, just so you won't break your very expensive figure. Because again, you don't want to break that very expensive figure. Now getting a quick look at all the accessories that Iron Man does come with straight out the packaging. He does come with a set of fists, a set of open relaxed hands, a set of repulsor blasting hands. He also does come with another set of repulsor blasting hands. This time around, they do have a peg in the center of the hands, and those pegs are for these very nice orange and yellow repulsor blast effects. Mr. Stark also does come with a set of gripping hands, and these gripping hands are for this energy blade. And unfortunately, he only does come with one. A set of these energy blades would have been perfect, but it's still pretty decent. Tony does come with an interchangeable forearm, and the way you interchange this forearm is literally just by popping it off. And obviously, you cannot have Mark 85 without the Infinity Gauntlet on Iron Man. Very tragic, very sad, but this is epic. He also does come with an interchangeable hand for that forearm, and it's obviously the snapping motion, and this just really brings the figure all together. Mark 85 does come with two other interchangeable forearm pieces, and it's these very nice blaster effects. I believe he used these in Infinity War, but obviously these are stylized to fit Mark 85 and not Mark 50. And yeah, they look really nice, but up close they do look kind of like dinosaurs, like the T-Rex from Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, and now that I've seen that, I can unsee it. Iron Man does come with a very nice interchangeable backplate, and it is for this lightning refocuser, as Medicom is calling it, right here in their instruction manual. If I can get it to focus. Lightning refocuser. So apparently that's the name of this little back piece, and yeah, it looks very nice. Obviously, it's used when Thor hits him in the back with the Mjolnir and Stormbreaker lightning to kind of charge him up. And I just think it looks really nice, man. Very nice detail, very nice paint. It would have been nice if it had a light up feature, but as is, it looks really nice. That baby blue in the center kind of makes it look like it's kind of lit up a little bit, but yeah, I think it looks great. He also does come with these very nice repulsor blast effects that plug into his feet. He also does come with his holographic shield, and I really do like this shield. The only thing I will say, I feel like it's a little bit smaller. Usually he does hold it up at this height, but it does touch the ground and covers his whole body. I don't know, it might just be me, but I think it is a little too small. Iron Man does come with 3 different head portraits, this first one being a fully masked Iron Man helmet, and the second one being this unmasked Tony Stark head. And it does also come with a different neck piece to, show some of that flesh on the neck. I will say one thing about this head sculpt is that mine came with these little marks on the side of the cheek and on the forehead. And at first I thought there were smudges and misprints on the figure. But the closer I look at it, it kind of looks like battle damage. And I'm not sure if that's intentional or if that was accidental. And it just happens to look like battle damage, but those things look very, very intentional in my opinion. I try to kind of scrape it off, it wouldn't come off, so I'm not sure what's going on there, man. If anybody else has this figure and yours is the same, let me know. If not, maybe mine's just a very big coincidence that it had, misprints on this face, or, sloppiness on this face, and it just happens to look like battle damage. But that aside, this head sculpt is absolutely beautiful, man. I think it is by far the best, like by far, I mean by miles and miles and miles, the best Robert Downey Jr. head in 6-inch form. There's no competition, man. Nobody's coming close to this head sculpt. And yeah, up close in the camera, it kind of looks um, a little bit off, but just having it in hand, man, this thing is absolutely beautiful. But he also does come with another one, and it's this half on mass head sculpt, and it is just with the face plate up. And still, this is one of the best likenesses to Robert Downey Jr. by a long shot. And here we have Mark 85. And man, where do I even start with this figure? There's a lot of good, but some bad to this figure, in my honest opinion. He is the best looking Mark 85 by far. That is without a doubt. There's no other figure that looks as good as this Mark 85. He is hands down the definitive version of this character and this armor. The details, the paint, the sculpt, the face sculpts, they're just perfect, immaculate, and again, untouchable. But there is some flaws with him, man. He feels very, very cheap. Doesn't look cheap, but he feels very, very cheap. He's very light, very flimsy. I feel like he will break easily if I drop him. So far, haven't had any issues with him, but yeah, just very scared to really mess around with this figure because he does feel really light, really hollow. That's what it is. He feels very, very hollow, like very cheap materials were used to make this figure. But maybe it's just because I was expecting him to be a little bit heavier, a little bit more heft to him. I thought there was going to be die cast in this figure, which never said they were going to make this figure out of die cast, but I just assumed. But yeah, those gripes aside, again, very minor details. Like, I don't really care for that seam that runs on top of his head. If I can get it to focus, it's very subtle on camera, but you could really see it in person. There's a seam that runs right across that head that I'm not a big fan of. And then the arc reactor, it's too blue in my opinion. I wish they would have gone with a more translucent plastic than that really bright baby blue. There's a couple other things that I didn't like. I think the shoulder pads are really weird engineered. They pop fairly easy. If I start moving that arm around, it pops off. Again, that sounds like a lot of gripes, but this is one of my favorite figures in my collection now. Another weird thing, again, I promise you this is probably the last thing that I have to gripe about, is lining up this torso and lower ab area. It's very awkward to do. You kind of really have to fiddle with it quite a bit to kind of get it lined up, and then you start moving them around and it gets uncentered, and you just kind of have to mess with them a little bit more. Again, other than that, this figure is beautiful. Getting a close-up look, you can see that very nice gold faceplate. Let me turn down my lights just a little bit so you can kind of see it a little bit better. There we go. You can see that very nice gold faceplate. You see that very nice baby blue punched in there, and that is translucent plastic. You get some silver bits on the side. Moving down to his chest, you get that very nice cherry colored candy paint on that armor. As you can see, it's very reflective, very shiny, very sparkly. You get that translucent piece of plastic there in the center that is sunken in. I wish it was a little bit more out, and it was the plastic piece was actually on this outer piece of the chest, not sunken in, because it just kind of makes it look a little awkward. You get some very nice little details of gray, blue, some panel lining throughout the whole armor. On the arms, you can see some very nice silver that does look very nice. On the back, they don't skip out with any of that paint. Moving down to his legs, you can see that. This part right here does trip me out a little bit. I wish that was engineered a little bit better. Not sure what's going on there, but yeah, that looks a little off to me. But yeah, man, this figure, again, it's very nicely done. The accessories are plentiful. They're really nice. He just looks really, really good. I just wish there was some more heft to him. Some die cast on this figure would have really benefited him, and a light up feature would have been nice as well. But overall, a solid figure and the definitive version of this character and this armor. But let's get a quick look at some articulation, then we'll get some size comparisons. Now getting a quick look at articulation. His head is on a dumbbell joint and that neck is a separate piece. With those two together, he can look up all the way. So you can get him some very nice flying poses. He can look down. Not a great amount. He can't really look down much, honestly. As you can see, that's the furthest it goes. He does get some great, actually, some decent head pivoting. Not the greatest, but it is pretty decent. His arms move out just about that much. Surprisingly, those shoulder pads didn't pop off. He does have upper bicep swivel, double jointed elbows that bend in a great amount. He does have butterfly joints that shift a great amount forward, and you can see all this very nice sculpting in there to make it look like metal pieces and some robotics in there. And with those two butterfly joints shift in, he can actually move his arm a good amount forward, so that is nice. Moving those back, you get no shifting really up and down out of those arms. They just kind of move up and down just a little bit, but not much. He does have a mid diaphragm cut that pivots this much to this side and a little bit to the other side. It does crunch forward just a little bit and a little bit back. He does have a lower ball joint, so with those two together, he can crunch a good amount forward. And there goes his back plate. Popping that back on. There we go. He can crunch a decent amount back. His legs are very nice, though. He does have some significant drop down hips, as you can see. Get it to focus. So very nice drop down hips right there. He does have upper thigh cuts, double jointed knees. Oh, there goes the shoulder pad. And he does have hinges at the feet that hinge this much forward, that much back, and he does have some little bit of ankle pivot, just the tiniest bit, as the design does kind of hinder it right there. I don't know where you can see it. Just kind of hinder it just a little bit. That is a little bit unfortunate. And he does have very nice toe articulation. Now getting a quick look at some size comparisons. Here we have Mark 85 next to the Marvel Legends Armored Thanos, the SH Figure Arts Endgame Hulk, the Mafex Black Panther, his son, the Mafex Iron Spider, and last but certainly not least, the Endgame Captain America and the Endgame Thor by Mafex. And there you have it, a very solid offering by Medicom Toys. This figure is very nice. I do like it quite a bit. Do I love it? Yes. Even with its faults, I do love this figure quite a bit. It could have been better. It could have been a lot better, especially for the 2-year wait that we had to endure for this figure to come out. Yeah, it should have definitely been a lot better. The shoulder pads, I'm not a big fan of. The hollow plastic really scares me. I feel like if I drop it or move it too hard, it will break. But other than that, this figure is very nice, man. I really like the metallics on this figure. The paint is very nice, very crisp, very shiny, very reflective. I love the accessories. He comes with a whole bunch. Again, I feel like if you have this Mark 85, you don't need any other Mark 85 figure. He comes with everything you need, man. I don't know what else you would want from this figure. Again, just a very, very solid figure overall. But yeah, man, enough of me rambling on. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe. Follow me on my Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. The links to all those are in the description down below. And I'll catch you guys next time. Peace.